Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of the Troy Brown Show, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neil McCready. That's Troy Brown, the Ole Miss linebacker, back in Oxford after a 52-28 Ole Miss win. The Rebels now 6-0 overall, 2-0 in the SEC. They head back home this Saturday, a 11 a.m. start against the Auburn Tigers. That game, if you are not making the trip to Oxford, that game can be seen on ESPN. Troy, how are you?
I'm good. What about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I think I'm feeling this is one of those rare times that the old guy feels better than the young guy here. I need to, before we get going on that, I need to tell you this show is brought to you each and every week by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I noticed some people walking around in Nashville talking about, hey, it's getting cold, which I actually thought of you, Troy. I thought Troy probably giggling at that, being from Michigan. But it is a reminder that the cooler weather is on its way. So the advice I would give you is get in touch with the people at Comer. If you live in the Oxford, Tupelo area, if you live in Memphis, DeSoto County, that area, get in touch with the people at Southern and get them to come out and check your heating system. Make sure that it's going to be good to go when the colder weather does indeed arrive. We got a little hint of it, but the real stuff will come, and you want to make sure that your heating unit is ready to use and safe to use as well. So if you live in Oxford, Tupelo, that area, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or that area, call the people at Southern, 662-429-4429. So I'm not going to press you on this because it's not fair to you. I know that your coach does not like to talk a lot about injuries. Obviously, you went out in the game. You didn't come back, so I'll allow you to be as vague as you'd like to be or as specific as you'd like to be. How you feeling?
Taking nicks and bruises just come with the game. Each and every time you go out on the field, you have the ability and it's likely that you might hurt yourself. So it is what it is, but definitely going to come into this week trying to get my body back into game shape.
You guys have played 6 games now. There is a physical wear and tear to that. You haven't had an open date yet. You've got one coming in a few weeks. How difficult is that? It's the part of the game, frankly, that we in the media don't write enough about. We don't talk enough about just the wear and tear on your body over the course of time. I was listening to I want to say it was Brent Venables, the Oklahoma coach, and it might have been somebody else, but I think it was him. And he was just talking about how his team's tired. You know, they got demolished in Dallas against Texas. How much of a challenge is it for a guy like you? You've done it now at Central Michigan. You've done it at Ole Miss. How challenging is it just to get your body right each week? What's that process like?
It's a grind, man. It's a grind physically and mentally. That's what the off season is for. The off season is to get your body and your mind prepared for these type of days. But then the in season, that's when the work really happens. You have to really stay on top of the film. You have to stay on top of your body, because if you go into a week to where you're not your best, then that's a higher chance of you not performing well, which is a higher chance of your team not succeeding. So it's a mental grind.
You know, it's interesting. Anybody that's ever had an injury, you don't have to play football to go through injuries. If you just hurt, like when you don't feel good, it's harder to concentrate than it is when you feel great, when you feel like $1 million. You talk about the mental preparation each and every week in the off season. Some of that is for that, right? Just to kind of get yourself in a position where, like this week, you've got to get ready for Auburn. You've got to watch Auburn film. You've got to do all those things. And yet at the same time, you don't feel as good as you felt a week ago. And so there's a mental toughness to that kicks in.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to push your mind past all the pain, all the hurt, and just keep going forward. If you look backwards, there's no work getting done.
How confident are you that you'll be able to go on Saturday against Auburn?
100%. I'm gonna give it my all, and if I come up short, then I won't be playing. But I'm gonna give it my all, though.
Let's talk about the game on Saturday in Nashville. You guys started slow, finished super hot. How much of the early struggles do you attribute to Vanderbilt just having a really good plan? The young quarterback played really well, I thought, especially out of the gate. And then how much of that was you guys had just come off a pretty emotional win, and you're going and playing in a completely different environment, and and sometimes you just get off to a slow start in those scenarios.
I think it was a little bit of both, honestly. They came out, had a good first series of dialing up what they could, but we also missed a lot of opportunities. Trey Prince, first possession could have came up with a momentum swinging play, pick. And then it's just us misfitting the ball and not being as aggressive as we're known to be. So it was just a little bit of both. But we had to shake it off. I could feel it, like, from my teammates, the way they were looking and stuff like that. That the energy wasn't there, and it was just kind of weird.
So you guys got that touchdown late in the first half, which I kind of thought was critical for the offense, and maybe it kind of was for you guys too. But you go into the locker room. Was that a fire and brimstone come to Jesus locker room, or was that more of a, hey, here's what we got to do, we just got to play better?
Definitely. Also a little bit of both on that. Yeah, we of course we needed that to bring a little bit of momentum to let us know that this game is still tight, but we just knew that the energy and the plays that we were missing were out there in the first half. So we just corrected a couple of things that they were doing to us and came out the second half and just stayed on point.
Yeah, you guys really played extremely well in the second half. I know some of the backups gave up a late touchdown, but that game was long over by then. Do you end up, after a game like that, Troy, do you go back and spend more time on the first half, or do you go look at the second half and go, this is what we did well, this is who we can be, or is it a little bit of both again?
Also a little bit of both on that, because you have to know the things that you're doing wrong in order to go back and correct them. There were things that we did in the first half that also, we went back in the second half and ran the same play, but we fitted it right. We fitted more aggressively. We made the tackle. So it's just small things that you have to go back and see that what did and what did not break the play. And, go back and see, like, the good things that did make the play. So you just have to be consistent in those aspects.
Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but you learn how to find your own solutions, and there's no better feeling when you do. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've used therapy as a way to handle stress, clear negative thoughts. It was a life changer for me. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try for yourself, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, it's affordable, it's entirely online. You get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and hey, you can switch therapists anytime you'd like. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. What do you do from a physical standpoint? Is it a lot of hot tubs, ice, stretch, massage? I mean, what all that stuff? What's kind of that? What all is entailed in just trying to get your body back?
I kind of have a little set routine where I go in, start off the hot tub and cold tub contrast, get the body warm, go back, change, then I start doing a little small exercises, and then I will end on like some feel good therapy, like HIPAA mats or things like what else is it called?
The stimulant stuff.
Yeah, stim pads.
Yeah.
Heating pads, stuff like that, and then massage. So, that's pretty much it. And then I'll try to go back later, and at the end of the day, do some arm things, shoulder things, and stuff like that. Because my right shoulder was kind of messed up, banged up in week 3. So, it is what it is.
You guys have Auburn coming in this weekend. They're coming off of a big time loss at Georgia. They did not play well against the nation's. I guess what's Georgia today? The top ranked team again. I think they moved back up to number 1 in the polls. When you have a team coming in that's struggling, how important is it just from a psychological standpoint to jump on them quickly?
You have to. Yeah, I feel like in any situation, but especially in this one, you have to hop out quick, just to keep the morale down. But they're going to come in fired. They're going to come in ready to come back and have a good game to, turn around their season, hopefully. So, they're going to have their chips on their shoulders. So we just have to come out foot on the neck. Can't come out slow. Got to come out hot, be dominant, and play full game, full quarter.
You guys are 6-0, as I mentioned at the top. You're 2-0 in the league. You're off to a great start. You are number 9 in the nation for the second straight week. You're going to be in the conversation when people talk about the SEC West, when people talk about the SEC. Frankly, Troy, when people talk about the national championship, and it's still a long way away, but you guys are in that conversation. Everybody that came in after the post game, after the game yesterday, I guess it was Jackson Dart and Jonathan Mingo and DeAndre Prince, all talked about the same thing, about you guys are good, trying to get great, one game at a time, one day at a time. That appears to be something that resonates throughout that locker room. Has that been a challenge to keep it that way, or have guys been pretty locked in?
I feel like looking far into the future, you get ahead, you get too ahead, and you get too anxious. So taking it one day at a time is the mindset we try to implement into ourselves, because what's happening right now is the only thing you can really affect, right? So when you're going through practice and you're hurting, it's just work right now, and whatever happens later, right? You won't remember because it's later, right? So it's just a mindset we really just try to implement to everybody, I feel like.
How good can this team be, though? Because y'all have some spurts. I think it was Jonathan talked about this. Y'all have some spurts. Maybe it was Jackson. I can't remember. Y'all have some spurts where you're really good.
Man, it's explosive on both ends. When we're clicking. It's just that we haven't showed a game to where we're hitting on all cylinders for all 4 quarters. And when we do that, people will understand that we are a very, very, very good team.
All right. So far, you're not a very, very good picker in the MAC.
Man, I suck, bro. Like I suck.
All right. You did okay last week. You went 3-3. I went 4-2. I added another game to my lead. I'm just kind of slowly trying to pull away from you. I'm 20-15 overall. You're 15-20. You still got time to catch me, but you got to get hot here soon, or you're going to start running out of time. So, got to prove to you that I'm not. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2. Yep. I even picked a couple of the non-conference games that the MAC teams are playing. So I could have been like, hey, there's just 4 MAC games, but nope. There's 6 games involving MAC teams. So we'll pick them all real quick. I'll let you go second each time so you can decide whether you want to try to steal one.
Okay.
Your guys, Central Michigan, they go to Akron this week. Central Michigan is a 13-point underdog. Your former teammates have not been good to you, by the way, so far this season. I think I've picked up like 3 games on you with Central Michigan. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna see. We're gonna test your loyalty here. I'm gonna go Akron, and I'll lay the 13 points. I'll see what you do.
Going my boys all the way.
It's truly unfair because I don't have a team and you do. All right. Miami of Ohio is at Bowling Green. Bowling Green got popped by my guys from Buffalo. So they're back home trying to lick their wounds a little bit against the Red Hawks. Bowling Green is a 6.5-point underdog at home against Miami. And I'm going with Miami. They look good lately.
Yeah, I'm going Miami too.
Buffalo coming off that win, they go to UMass to play I guess what are they? The Minutemen, UMass.
I believe yes.
In Amherst. Buffalo is an 18-point favorite. UMass lost to Liberty last week. It's a lot of points, but I'll take Buffalo and lay them.
I'm gonna take Buffalo.
All right.
Yeah.
You gonna take
Yeah.
Okay. UConn is heading into MAC territory. They're going to Muncie to play Ball State. UConn is getting 11 points. I think they won at FIU last week, but I think FIU is like one of the worst teams in the world. They're awful. They're not good. So even though it's a lot of points, I'll take Ball State at home and lay the 11.
I'll take UConn.
Tell the head was spinning there. He's like, I don't like them enough to do it. All right. Northern Illinois and Eastern Michigan. This one's got a chance to be a really good game. Northern Illinois is getting 1 point at Eastern Michigan. I'm gonna take Northern Illinois on the road here and take my point.
I'll take Eastern.
Got a split there. Toledo is at home against Kent State. Kent State getting 18.5 points at Toledo. Nope, I'm sorry, 8.5, not 18, 8.5. No, I stand corrected. It's 18.5. Kent State getting 18.5 at Toledo. I'll take Toledo and lay the points.
Yeah, I'll take Toledo too.
All right, last one. Back in your home state, it's Ohio. The Bobcats heading to Western Michigan. The Bobcats getting 3 points on the road in is that Mount Pleasant? Is that where Western Michigan is?
Kalamazoo.
Okay. Which one's Mount Pleasant's Eastern?
Central.
Yeah, one of these I'll get it right. Which one? Ypsilanti? Which one's that?
Ypsilanti Eastern. Mount Pleasant Central. Kalamazoo Western.
See, I'm from Louisiana, and people always make fun of all the Louisiana schools.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got just as big of an issue up there, so I don't want to hear it. I'll take Western Michigan here. I'll lay the 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going Western too.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I know you've had a full day. You probably got more stuff to do later today. So hope you continue to get well. Hope you have a good week of practice. And we certainly hope to see you out on the field on Saturday when Ole Miss entertains Auburn. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Troy Brown Show, getting ready for, I guess, Troy's second trip to Baton Rouge. He went to LSU with Central Michigan. This time he'll go with Ole Miss for a big we'll talk about, here's your homework assignment for the week. The only thing for this week is you got to find a picture of the Magnolia Bowl trophy, and we'll talk about it.
All right.
We'll talk about that trophy. Again, we're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Don't forget, if you live in Oxford, Tupelo, the surrounding area, get in touch with the people at Comer. Memphis, Hernando, that area, get in touch with the people at Southern. They'll take great care of you, and please tell them how much you appreciate them sponsoring the Troy Brown Show. So until next week, for Troy Brown, I'm Neil McCready. Take care.